Good evening, students. Good evening, students. My name is Akshay Mohan Jha, and today I'm going to take our fourth session, that is based on clause for class 8th. In my previous sessions, I talked about sentence, I talked about phrase, and I also said that I would be doing an exercise, or rather, an entire session on clause. Now, this is my fourth session for clause, but I want to recapitulate what I have taught you earlier. Now, if you remember, the very first session was on sentence. I wrote the definition of sentence. That was a group of words that makes complete sense is called sentence. I wrote some of the examples of simple sentences. In the very first session, I wrote some of the structures, which are very common structure that we write in our day-to-day grammar workbook. And then I described the kinds of sentence. If you remember, I described the sentences of three types: simple sentence, compound sentence, and complex sentence. The clause comes under the domain of complex sentence. Now, a clause. The definition of the clause is that it's a group of words which contains a finite verb. A clauses are of two types. One is the main clause and the other one is subordinate clause. So unlike the simple sentence, a sentence, or rather a clause, may be or can be divided in two parts. If you read a sentence which is an example of complex sentence, we can divide that sentence into two parts. One would be called main clause if it has a finite verb, and the other one will be called subordinate clause. It's also called dependent clause. Now, these terminology, I'll be explaining it formally and slowly in my gradual process of explaining. Now, here, the very first thing, a main clause is also called principal clause or independent clause. It does not have a further varieties. Now, this is just a definition of what a main clause is. I'll explain that. A subordinate clause is which can also be called dependent clause. It has three types: noun clause, adjective clause, and adverb clause. Now, in a complex sentence, a sentence can be divided in two parts. One could be the main clause, the other could be the subordinate clause. Now, the main clause is called a independent clause, wherein a subordinate clause is called dependent clause. It could be a noun clause, it could be adjective clause, or an adverb clause. Okay, a noun clause. A clause that does the work of a noun in a sentence is called a noun clause. So look at the example here. I know where he lives. So here, if you look at the sentence, it is a kind of complex sentence. Rather, it's a example of complex sentence. Here, I is the subject, know is the verb, and the other part means this part of sentence is group of words which has a subject and a verb, but it does not gives a complete meaning on its own. So it's dependent on the first part. So it's a clause. Remember this. Now here we have to understand that this is a noun clause because it serves as a noun. Now look at the example carefully. I know what. If you write what after the verb, it gives the place of the noun. It will identify the noun here. So I have put two questions: who or what. So what is used for non-living thing? Who is used for living thing? So in this clause, I know what. Now if you answer this question of what, you will see the answer will be where he lives. So where he lives serves as a noun. So it's a noun clause. Okay. Now a noun clause can perform various functions in a sentence. It can be a subject of a verb. For example, look at the second example. That is, that he will be appointed to the job is certain. Now in this sentence, that he will be appointed to the job. If you look at this, this is the clause and the second part is certain. So if we have to identify, now we all know that a subject could be a word, a noun or pronoun, basically, or a word with a force of noun, or a group of words which has the force of noun. Could be a verb phrase, sorry, what could be a noun phrase, but here what we see is that we have a group of words here. It has a subject he, it has its object, it has its verb appointed. But if you look at this sentence, that he will be appointed to the job, if we just put this, if we just write it to this extent, we can say that this part does not make complete sentence, does not make complete sense. So we cannot call it a sentence. So in order to call it a sentence, we have to add something here. So the second part has a verb and a noun. Okay, so here that he will be appointed to the job is certain. In this part, the very first part, that he will be appointed to the job, is the subject, and the later on are the main clause. So here we see that a noun clause can work as a subject of a verb. Now the second is noun clause as the object of a verb. The office staff knew that the plan was impractical. Now if you look at the sentence, you learn the office staff knew. The office staff knew what? So here we see that knew is the verb, knew is the verb, and knew is the verb, and this part serves as an object. We all know that a noun or a pronoun or any word that has a force of noun serves as a noun. Serves as a noun, can be the object of a sentence. So here we see that this part of sentence is the object, so it's a noun again. This part of sentence is a noun clause, it is performing the work of a noun. So we learned that a noun clause can be the subject of a verb, or it could be an object to a verb. The third part is noun clause as the complement of the verb. Now here you see this, that noun clause can also play the role of a complement of a verb. Example, our teacher's hope is that he will improve in due course. Now if you look at in the sentence, who is the subject? Our teachers. What is the verb? It's hope. Teacher's hope is. Our teacher's hope, sorry. The subject is our teacher's hope. The verb is. Now here is a linking verb. It's connect this part with this part. It's simply the verb is not an action verb, or it's not the stative verb. It does not state something. It does not tells you about some state or some position. It talks about, it simply links this part. So here what we see, a teacher's hope, and what is a hope? That he will improve in due course. So this part of the sentence is actually a clause because it has a subject as well as verb in it. But again, if you look at this sentence, if I hide this part, you can only learn, you can only make half of its sense. So it's not a sentence. So what you can do is you have to understand this, that our teacher hope that he will improve in due course. In this sentence, this part plays the complement of the sentence, complement of a verb. Now in the fourth sentence, noun clause as a complement of an adjective. A noun clause can also serve as a complement of an adjective. So here the teachers are not certain that he would pass. And look at the sentence. Here the subject is the teacher, are is the verb, not is an adverb, certain is an adjective, and then the teachers are not certain of what. So here you see that he would pass. So this part of the sentence is the clause, and it serves as a noun clause because it describes, it tells you, it serves as a complement of an adjective. So this is what you have to learn. I hope you might have understood. First of all, if you have confusion, you also have to go back in your previous you also have to look in your previous class workbook how a noun works in a sentence. You will learn that noun plays the role of a subject, as an object, as a complement, as a complement of an odd adjective. It also plays as an its also role is object to the preposition and so on. So you have to keep those in mind. Similarly, a clause performs the same function, but what happens there? If you see at a noun, it would be one particular word or one word. But if you look at the phrase, it will be group of words. But if you look at the clause, it will be a set of words together. It will have a subject of its own. It will have a verb of its own. So if you look at the fifth example, I'm re-explaining this. In this example, the teachers are not certain. Now if we break this sentence to two parts, say this way: the teachers are not certain. Now if you look at the sentence, the teacher is the subject, are is the verb, not is an adverb, and certain is an adjective. This sentence will make complete sense if it is written all alone. But if you look at the second part of the sentence, that he would pass, here what you see, that he is the subject, would pass is the verb. But if I write that he would pass, it will have no complete sense. So here what you have to do is you have to add on some other clause in order to help and support this clause so that it makes complete sense. So you see that here certain is the adjective, and this particular part of the sentence is working as a complement of the adjective. So it's working as a noun. I hope the session has made you understand. But even if you are finding it difficult, not to worry, we'll describe it slowly and gradually, and you will be able to understand it in the further sessions. For as of now, I'm just giving this clause an end, and I'll be redoing another session immediately after this for your adjective clause. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.